Hello and welcome everyone to another Starcraft 2 England cast. And we have got a great game going on here today. It is between LiquidSheth and Complexity's RSVP. LiquidSheth will be playing as the blue Zerg in the top right position here. And we have Complexity's RSVP in the top left position, playing as the red Protoss. Now, the map is Antigua Shipyard, which is a really interesting map in this matchup. I really like it. Basically, the Forge Fast Expand isn't a given. On some maps you have a very small ramp at the natural in which the Forge Fast Expand can go down really easy. It looks actually like RSVP is going to be going for it. Now, the way he'll probably do this is the Nexus can go down there, the Forge can go down here, and then he will drop a cannon somewhere around here. But the downside, or maybe even here, but basically it can need two cannons to hold off if there's any early aggression. However, likewise, the Zerg response to a Forge Fast Expand is to take a third base exceptionally quickly, and from the layout of this position down here, it's not much harder to actually hold off the three bases and defend that than it is to defend just the natural. So really it allows for kind of longer games to go on, but it also gives this pressure to the Protoss player, which means they can't just get that real easy free natural base, because if things don't go right, then they have a problem. Now, it's going to be a 14 pool build from Sheth. Again, not at all surprising, purely because you can't actually go for a 15 hatch or even a hatch first build against Protoss, because obviously they can just drop a pylon and cannon you. Specifically on this map, there's some interesting positions you can drop pylons in a way that you can completely wall yourself in, and then you take no damage ever. And it basically completely denies the natural base of the Zerg player and the hatch first. So the pool is going to finish off. Unfortunately for RSVP, the probe he sent out to scout will get here last, but there isn't actually any vision. Now, this Overlord will eventually move its way down here, but there's no way that Sheth will know if that probe does try to cannon him. But having said that, we have seen this Overlord come here. He's going to get good vision. The photon cannon is already down. The Nexus is just dropping as we speak. But the problem with this is Zerglings can actually jump their way around the edge and take very little damage here. Now the probe is going out, not doing any fancy shenanigans of dropping a pylon or anything like that, so we won't see any cannon play. And what is surprising is that probe hasn't actually gone up here. A common thing Protoss players will do is they'll just come up here, drop a pylon right in the corner, and that way they can warp into the third base or even drop cannons, because as expected, Sheth is just straight away getting this third base and even taking the Zerglings here to scout around just in case there is a pylon. But the pylon itself, I did hear something being warped in. It's actually two assimilators. Just my very good hearing heard it all. And the gateway is on its way down as well now, which is protecting this cannon quite well. The Nexus will be done soon, but it's all very standard as we speak. This third base you do want to get down before the 5-minute mark at the absolute latest as a Zerg player against the Forge Fast Expand. And Sheth actually doing some drone transfers, which is very fair enough. No gas taken yet by Sheth, so it's somewhat Spanishiwa style, or it was his style anyway. Some of his more recent games Spanishiwa's actually switched to something a bit more standard. But this kind of gasless opening is very good. It allows you to get this base out exceptionally quickly. He'll probably back it up with some spine crawlers just in case there's any damage coming in early. This Zealot is being actually moved out relatively quickly. He will get +1, so we might see a Zealot +1 push, which is very effective, and it'll be interesting to see. And he does it. I was actually going to say it'll be interesting to see if Chrono Boost does come out on this Warp Gate tech. It is going to be on its way. And still, Sheth just going purely for drones. His third base is already up. He's doing very well. Queen-wise, he's got one queen at the main and one at the natural, none on the third yet, and his creep spread is non-existent. Only just getting his first two gases now, which is again very standard timing. Just sending some overlords in to scout to see what's happening. Get an eye on how many gateways, and I don't actually think Sheth managed to get that view off. So no, Sheth has no idea that that Stargate is on its way down, and that means that if his evolution chamber doesn't come down with the Roach Warren, then he could have a little bit of issue if too many Phoenixes and Voidway come out. But straight away he's going up to 3 gate, 4 gate here. So 4 gate Stargate opening, which is pretty standard. A +1 is there. That Zealot which was somewhere. I Don't know what's happened to that poor little zealot. He may have been killed. If you go to the lost tab. No, it's... Yeah, there must have been a little interaction I've missed there. That zealot did manage to kind of go in. Not quite sure what happened there, but nothing too serious. I apologise for missing it. I was too busy talking about the pros and cons of what Sheth's scouting methods were. But we are going to get this Void Ray kind of boosted out. There's no actual queen at the third, which means that that Void Ray can harass uncontended for quite a while. The pylon will be forced to cancel, and those links are just keeping the map control for Sheth. Warp gate tech is obviously now done, and so 4 warp gates are going to be on their way. This pylon here will mean that it's going to be pretty easy to warp units down onto this low ground here as expected. Those Zerglings will get cleaned up pretty easily by the Zealots, although one did go on very low health, and good micro going on there by RSVP. The Void Ray already taken out an Overlord, as we heard. The Queen is trying to get out from this hatchery, but it's not going to finish until quite a few drones could potentially die. Some roaches coming out now. The roaches will force back those Zealots. Although meanwhile, just a few going down. And I mean, I'm surprised that Void Ray isn't just going flat out for the Queen, because in a one-on-one fight he will win. Although the Queen from the natural has been pulled, and that means this natural is going to go without inject for quite a while. And there's a lot of roaches coming in now. So this is a big roach coward to push going straight in. There's only 2 sentries out at the moment. And again, that Void Ray is just killing stuff. 2 Void Rays out now. Just going to pick off quite a few roaches and things like that. And this is the downside of doing a forge fast expand on this map. It's very difficult to get a cannon to have enough range to deal with everything. And there are 2 sentries in there, so we could see some force fields. And that's some good force fields. Just trapping a couple of roaches in range of the cannon. Where the cannon's taking big damage and does now go down. This is going to be quite difficult for RSVP to hold, but he has got the Void Rays in there. So he will be able to clean it up relatively quickly. A lot of those roaches are on extremely low health. And again, RSVP did some great defense there. Meanwhile, behind that, Sheth just droned, got a Spore Crawler at his 3rd base and one at his main base. A second one at his main base as well. So it's only his natural without Spore Crawler now. Getting a macro hatch as well. So again, some very good moves. Another Overlord has been killed by these Void Rays, so that's good use of the Void Rays. The Void Rays are going to target fire the Queen, but deciding to put out just because that Spore Crawler is getting pretty close to getting finished. And obviously the threat of more Queens being pulled. But if we take a quick look at RSVP's base, he's not taking the 3rd yet. He's getting a Twilight Cancel on now and does have 2 Stargates, so this double Stargate play could be very effective. He's getting a lot of Void Rays out, but meanwhile, Sheth is just getting his lair out. He's getting a 2nd evolution chamber, and his +1 ranged attack is just coming up to finish, and speed only about halfway done, which is very unusual at the 11-minute bar in any other matchup apart from in ZVP. So a transfuse actually going off on the Overlord, which did nothing, but still those Void Rays are in play. 2 more are in as well. And this is starting to actually get quite dangerous. There's no other anti-air apart from Queens at the moment for LiquidSheth. And obviously 4 Void Rays can do a lot of damage to Queens very quickly before they can actually get out damaged. And I mean, those Spore Crawlers won't last very long. All of these Overlords are going to get taken out. This is bad rally points by Sheth here. He would have been good to try and rally them somewhere else. His Hydra Den rather still isn't down, and another Overlord could go down exceptionally quickly. Another Overlord getting sniped, and this is huge damage and loss of Overlords, and 2 Void Rays going straight onto that Queen there. They are pulling back, and there's another Queen coming in. And the Spore Crawler is just being repositioned. A lot of Queens being pulled, more Queens being made as well. And it will force those Void Rays back for a while. But it has allowed RSVP to take this 3rd base. And that's the sort of pressure you need. And now, what I wouldn't be surprised to see is the Templar Archives being used extensively in order to get Storms out on the Hydralisks, which I would imagine RSVP already knows are coming out. But he doesn't actually have an Observer out yet, because he doesn't have a robotics facility as far as I'm aware. So the first High Templar are getting warped out now. Obviously they will do a lot of damage to the glass cannons, which are known as Hydralisks. And there's a big force of Void Rays. There's still +1 air attack coming out as well. And Spire on its way now for LiquidSheth. So that's a good move. There's no Colossi out at the moment. But a good follow-up to a big airplay from Protoss is to get Colossi, because the airplay forces Hydras and Colossi kill Hydra. So again, that was some good force fields, a big army coming in here, but likewise there's a lot of roaches, a lot of Hydras, and Storm isn't yet done. Storm will finish up briefly, but I don't think there's enough energy on any of these to get a Storm off. Nowhere close. So again, these roaches are just going to be able to go to town. They could take out that forge, which will hold the upgrades back for the Protoss ground army for quite a while. Didn't get a cancel off on the upgrade either, and if this natural base goes down, then that could be really, really significant for this game. I mean, that Nexus is now down. There is a lot of Voidways there. Another one coming out, but so many Hydralisks on their way. Those High Templar are being forced to move back. They have got enough energy for a Storm now, and those Voidways are finally managing to clean up the roaches, but not before they've done incredible damage. And there's more roaches down here at the third base. That third base is going down as well. The main base of RSVP should be able to hold. I mean, there are Storms there available, but the damage would be pretty minor compared to down here where most of the army is. And I mean, there we go, that third base down as well. So really, RSVP is in a very bad position here. He's morphed in an Archon. His main base is still up, trying to take his natural, but there's a lot of units here for Sheth and not very much to deal with it. There are some Hydralisks out at somewhere, I do believe. You know, a lot of Hydralisks at the main base, which when they get over here will be able to deal with those Voidways, but not until those Voidways have picked off another Overlord or two. And I mean, Sheth is nearly a double the supply of RSVP, so I mean, this is not a good position for him to be in. So many Lings. I mean, this is only a matter of time before GG's called. There's nothing RSVP can do. Some good Storms going off. Going to do some big damage, but not actually manage to get many kills. So a lot of very low HP Hydras, but those Voidways are very weak against Hydras, and there is the good game from RSVP. So that was some very, very nice play by LiquidSheth there. Great timings, great defense from that early harassment of air, and all around very, very good. I mean, there wasn't really much more I could see RSVP could have done. I mean, the airplay just didn't work. Maybe he overcommitted a little bit to it. Possibly could have gone for a Robo Bay rather than the Templar Archives, but again, Sheth just played really well. He dealt with those 4 early Voidways incredibly well, and that's what allowed him to really win the game, because he just got the drones out, and if you get the drones, you get the Steamroller army. Anyway, thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this cast. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. I'm always welcome to feedback, so any comments on my casting, ways I can improve, things you think I could do better, or even anything you want me to cast, by all means, let me know. Feedback is always welcome. If you do have any videos or replays that you'd like me to cast, my email is sc2england@hotmail.co.uk, so send them over there and tell me why they're an awesome game to watch, and I might just cast them. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Bye for now.